Welcome to this video where we'll be addressing our most frequently asked question, and that is, what is the difference between the MAG-9000 and the MAG-8000? Now, unlike a lot of companies, we don't simply do a good, better, best model lineup. We designed machines for specific applications rather than just fractionally increasing the horsepower and the price. So instead, we've got our two general users in the lawn and garden industry, which are servicing dealers, lawnmower dealerships, and sharpening shops, and landscapers and lawn care professionals. And that's kind of how we break down the two, and they're designed for the needs of each of those users. The way that's primarily determined is off of the blade type. Now, the two primary blades in the industry are, which were originally called mulching blades. That word is now used for a lot of other blades as well, but when we say a mulching blade here at Magna-Matic, we mean the type that actually have bends stamped in the cutting edge, where you actually get a wavy or curved cutting edge. The MAG-8000 is able to do these blades and keep the same angle along the length of the cutting edge. That's what makes it quite unique. Now, it can also do what we call a conventional or straight blade, which has a flat or straight underside. And remember, we're never worried about how the lift is or if there are notches in the lift. That doesn't matter. As long as the cutting edge underside is flat and straight, that's a conventional blade, at least to our definition. Now, the MAG-8000, while we direct that towards servicing dealers, is because it can do both blade types. The 9000 can only do flat, straight, conventional cutting edges, primarily what's used by landscapers and lawn care professionals, and most commercial blades on those types of machines are flat, straight cutting edges. So that one really focuses on that, where the 8000 is able to do both. Regarding brush hog blades, the very large, heavy, half-inch thick swing mower type blades, both machines can do them. However, if you have a large volume of them, you are better off with the 8000, and we'll review in the motor size why that's the case for the 8000. So after the blade type, the next major difference is the angles that they will produce on a lawnmower blade. The 8000 is able to dial in angles from 25 up to 45 degree angles in 5-degree increments that you can set with the machine. And that really separates it even from anything else out in the industry right now, that you can dial in those angles. The 9000 only has one angle setting, you could say, is that when the grinding wheel is lowered down to the work table, it will consistently cut a 30-degree angle. So there's only really one setting or one reference point angle. You can raise and lower the wheel and create other angles, but you'd need a template or a way to measure that, and that becomes, of course, more time-consuming, where it'll set to 30 degrees very quickly by lowering the wheel to that same point. So that's where they separate in angles. Here, basically, you get one angle. Here, you get many angles that you can dial in with the machines. The next thing to talk about is motor size. Now, motor size, a lot of times, is overstated in machinery and not even stated very clearly or correctly. Getting into that, the 8000 has a 1-horse, continuous duty industrial Baldor motor. It is a full 1-horse motor. It is fan-cooled and enclosed, totally enclosed and sealed. The continuous duty portion essentially means that the unit is designed, or the motor is able to take the load of running essentially 24 hours. It's made for 3 shifts of work in an industrial setting. The 9000 has a 3/4 horse motor, also an industrial frame motor, totally enclosed, fan-cooled, but it is a 3/4 horse, and it is a standard duty motor. So it's meant for being used for a while, and then it's able to rest for a while. So not a constant straight through. However, don't let that discourage you. The 9000 is well suited for very large applications, for doing blades in very large landscapers and keeping up with the duty cycle. Where the motor size separates or becomes much more beneficial is back to the brush hogs that we were talking about before, or bush hog blades. This 1-horse motor, when you're looking at doing a lot of brush hog blades over a long period of time, this one is just better suited for it. The 8000 is better suited for that type of work. Now, the next thing is the transmission of the units. The 8000 is belt driven with cogged or toothed pulleys and a toothed timing belt, so there's no belt slippage. The 9000 is direct drive or direct mounted to the motor spindle. That causes a couple different design issues or things to happen with the two sharpeners, and that is the 9000, the direct drive design allows us to make the machine more compact, more portable, and just, you know, a smaller footprint overall. It also then causes us to actually approach the grinding wheel at a bit of an angle, about a 45-degree angle, and you can see there's a angled cut in the work table. You generally stay parallel to this as you're sliding the blade back and forth while sharpening. And again, for that compact design. And it also allows us to do a left-handed or right-handed blade by simply standing on one side of the machine or the other without having a dual direction motor. Over here with the 8000, the belt drive allowed us to get the grinding wheel away from the motor, giving us a lot more room and clearance for these mulching blades and getting over the curvatures of them. That belt drive also gives just much more view or vision of the work being done as you're sharpening. You can just see more. So when you're looking at a large volume of left-handed blades, or if you're a Walker brand user, the 8000 is generally more often the choice. The 9000 is primarily the right-handed blades, straight flat cutting edges. However, like I said, if you have a small volume of left-handed blades, it will do it as well. So in review, when it comes down to the decision between looking at the two sharpeners, it really comes down to what kind of user are you, your blade types, and how many of that blade type you have. For example, if you're a landscaper and most of all your commercial mowers are using flat, straight, conventional edges, and you have one push mower with a mulching blade, we generally still recommend for people to go with the 9000 because the additional cost of the 8000 doesn't justify doing one mulching blade. Whereas if you're now a servicing dealer and you sell a lot of push mowers and you're getting mulching blades back, this becomes much more of a necessity. So when it comes down to time, when you're looking at the two machines, really look at your blade types and how many of each of those blade types you have to do. Thanks again for watching, and I hope this helped in your decision between the MAG-9000 and the 8000. Thank you.